The fluorescent lights of the underground parking garage cast long shadows between the rows of expensive cars as 38-year-old Victoria Sterling made her way toward the exit after another late night at Sterling Financial Group. As the chief executive officer of one of the city's most successful investment firms, Victoria was accustomed to working until well past midnight, often being the last person to leave the 40-story building that housed her empire. Tonight, however, Victoria had decided to conduct one of her quarterly undercover walks through the building. Dressed in simple business attire rather than her usual designer suits, she wanted to observe how her night shift employees performed when they thought no executives were watching. These unannounced visits had become her way of staying connected to the day-to-day operations that kept her company running smoothly. As Victoria approached her car in the dimly lit garage, she noticed a small circle of warm light coming from near the security station by the elevator bank. Curious about what might be happening in an area that should have been quiet at this hour, she walked closer to investigate. What she saw stopped her in her tracks. A young man in a security guard uniform was sitting on a concrete ledge near the wall, using a small battery-powered lantern to illuminate the pages of a thick textbook. He appeared to be in his late 20s, with dark hair and the kind of intense focus that comes from someone deeply committed to learning. Despite the uncomfortable surroundings and inadequate lighting, he was taking careful notes in a notebook balanced on his knee. Victoria watched for a moment, impressed by the dedication this employee was showing to his studies. She could see titles of other textbooks stacked beside him, all related to business and finance. This was clearly not casual reading, but serious academic work being pursued under the most challenging circumstances. "Excuse me," Victoria said gently, approaching the security station. "I am Victoria from the executive offices upstairs. I was working late and could not help but notice your dedication to studying down here." The young man looked up quickly, clearly startled to encounter anyone in the garage at this hour. He immediately began gathering his books, assuming he was in trouble for studying during his shift. "I am sorry," he said, standing respectfully. "I am Daniel Martinez, and I work the overnight security shift. I was just using some downtime to catch up on my coursework. I did not think anyone would be down here." Victoria held up her hand to indicate he should not worry. "Daniel, please do not apologize. I am impressed, not concerned. What are you studying?" Daniel relaxed slightly, though he remained professionally cautious. "I am working on my master's degree in business administration. I take classes during the day and work here at night to pay for tuition and support my family." Victoria looked at the makeshift study setup, noting the worn textbooks, the careful handwriting in his notebook, and the small lantern that provided barely enough light to read by. "Daniel, why are you studying down here instead of in the security office upstairs?" Daniel's expression grew slightly embarrassed. "The security office has security cameras that are monitored by the main desk, and I did not want to get in trouble for studying during work hours. Down here, I can keep an eye on the garage entrance and still make progress on my assignments." Victoria felt something shift in her chest as she understood the full picture. This young man was so committed to improving himself that he was willing to study in a cold, uncomfortable garage rather than risk his job. He was pursuing an advanced degree while working full-time to support his family, showing the kind of determination and character that Victoria rarely encountered even among her highest-paid executives. "Daniel, how long have you been working here?" Victoria asked. 3 years, Daniel replied. "I started working here right after my daughter was born. The night shift pays better than day security work, and the schedule allows me to attend classes during the day and spend some time with my family." Victoria looked at this dedicated employee who had been working in her building for 3 years without her ever knowing his name or his aspirations. "Tell me about your degree program. What do you hope to do with your MBA?" Daniel's eyes lit up with the kind of passion that Victoria recognized in successful entrepreneurs. "I want to start my own financial consulting firm that specializes in helping working families build wealth and plan for their futures. I grew up in a family that never had access to financial planning, and I want to provide those services to people who need them most." Victoria found herself genuinely impressed by Daniel's vision and his commitment to serving others rather than just advancing his own career. "That is an admirable goal, Daniel. How much longer do you have in your program?" "I am hoping to finish in 18 months, Daniel said. "It is taking longer than normal because I can only take 2 classes per semester while working full-time, but I'm determined to complete it." Victoria made a decision that would change both their lives. "Daniel, I have a proposition for you. How would you feel about transferring to a different position within the company that would allow you to gain experience in the financial services industry while completing your degree?" Daniel stared at her in surprise. "I appreciate the thought, but I am not qualified for any finance positions. I am just a security guard trying to improve my education." Victoria smiled, recognizing the same self-doubt she had felt early in her own career. "Daniel, you are not just a security guard. You are someone with the determination to pursue an advanced degree while working full-time and raising a family. You are someone who studies by flashlight in a parking garage because you are committed to your goals. Those qualities are more valuable than any specific experience." Over the following weeks, Victoria worked with her human resources department to create a paid internship position that would allow Daniel to work in the financial planning department during the day while completing his MBA at night. The position came with a significant salary increase and tuition assistance that would help him finish his degree faster. Daniel proved to be everything Victoria had hoped for and more. His combination of street-smart practicality and academic knowledge made him exceptional at helping clients develop realistic financial plans. His background as a working parent gave him credibility with clients who had previously felt intimidated by financial advisors who seemed out of touch with their struggles. 6 months later, Daniel had become one of the most requested financial advisors in the company, with a client base that appreciated his down-to-earth approach and genuine understanding of their challenges. Victoria watched Daniel's progress with the satisfaction of someone who had recognized potential that others had overlooked. During their monthly check-in meetings, she continued to be impressed by his insights and his commitment to serving clients rather than just generating revenue. "Daniel," Victoria said during one of these meetings, "I have been thinking about your goal of starting your own financial consulting firm. What if instead of leaving the company to start your own business, you developed that specialty practice within Sterling Financial Group?" Daniel looked at her with surprise. "What do you mean?" Victoria leaned forward, her excitement evident. "I mean creating a division specifically focused on financial planning for working families and small business owners. You would lead the department, hire and train advisors who share your philosophy, and build the kind of practice you envisioned, but with the resources and support of an established firm." 18 months later, Daniel graduated with his MBA and was promoted to Director of Community Financial Services, overseeing a department that had become one of the most successful and respected divisions within Sterling Financial Group. His team of advisors, many of whom came from working-class backgrounds themselves, had helped hundreds of families build financial security and achieve dreams they had never thought possible. At the company's annual awards dinner, Victoria presented Daniel with the Employee Excellence Award, recognizing not just his professional achievements but his impact on the company's culture and mission. 2 years ago, Victoria told the assembled employees, "I discovered Daniel studying by flashlight in our parking garage, pursuing his MBA while working the night security shift. What impressed me was not just his dedication to his education, but his vision of using that education to help others build better lives." She paused, looking at Daniel, who was sitting with his wife and young daughter at a table near the front. "Daniel reminded me that the most valuable employees are not necessarily those with the most impressive credentials, but those with the strongest character and the clearest sense of purpose." Daniel stood to accept his award, holding his daughter in his arms as he addressed the audience. 3 years ago, I was a security guard who dreamed of someday helping people achieve financial stability. Ms. Sterling did not just give me a job, she gave me the opportunity to turn my dreams into reality while helping others achieve theirs." He looked at Victoria with genuine gratitude. "She taught me that sometimes the most important light is not the one that illuminates the page you are reading, but the one that helps others see possibilities they never knew existed." After the ceremony, Victoria walked through the parking garage where she had first encountered Daniel studying by his small lantern. The security station was now staffed by someone else, but Victoria had made sure it was equipped with proper lighting and a comfortable chair for anyone who wanted to use downtime for personal development. As she stood in the spot where Daniel had pursued his dreams under the most challenging circumstances, Victoria reflected on how that chance encounter had changed her understanding of what it meant to be a leader. She had learned that the most important discoveries in business are not found in market reports or financial statements, but in recognizing the potential in people who are willing to work by flashlight in parking garages because they refuse to give up on their dreams. The light that had illuminated Daniel's textbooks that night had also illuminated something important about leadership, showing Victoria that true success comes not from hoarding opportunities, but from recognizing talent wherever it appears and providing the support that allows people to transform their dreams into reality. Sometimes, Victoria thought, the brightest lights in any organization are carried by the people who study in the shadows, waiting for someone to notice their dedication and give them the chance to shine.